Good morning. Welcome to the More Factor, February the 23rd. It is Thursday. Good to be with you this morning. I am Frederick Groth, and it is my pleasure to help people overcome their depression and lack of joy in life by showing them how they can find their life purpose and passions. And this morning is no exception. We are going to talk about joy. This is our final video in this mini-series on happiness and joy. Today we're going to define joy. Define it. Get an understanding of what it means, of what it is talking about. So I wrote on my trusty notebook this morning the definition that Mr. Webster has given us about joy. So let's head right into it. No time to waste. Joy. It is an emotion that is invoked by something. And he's listed 4 things that joy is invoked by. Okay, and we're going to talk about each one individually very quickly here. Number 1, joy is invoked by well-being, success, or good fortune. Well, that I guess is quite obvious. We tend to have joy when things are going great. That's the easy part. When life is good, when things are going your way, it is easy to be happy. It is easy to have that abundance of joy and exuberance in your life. So we don't really need to belabor that or beat that horse into the ground. Everybody understands when life is good, people are happy. The question comes, what happens when life is not good? How can we still feel joy? How can we still get that emotion into our lives, get that thought process, get that mindset of joy into our lives? That, my friends, is the question. As Shakespeare once said, to be or not to be. Now that is the question. And that is exactly the question. Are you going to be joyful? Or are you not going to be joyful? So I think our second point here really hits the nail on the head. Joy is evoked by the prospect of possessing something you desire. By the prospect, by the belief that you're going to get something that you desire. Joy. So that is why you can, let me put my notebook down for a moment, that is why you can go to work every morning and labor for 8 to 10 to 16 hours and get home and still have a happy face. And still find a way to express happiness and joy. Because you understand that the labor that you're doing is going to produce a desired result. The problem comes into play when people are doing something but they don't see the result as something they desire. So, I don't want anybody going out and quitting their jobs. However, I do want you to find something in your life that gives you joy and realize what I'm doing right now is going to help me do that then. The work I'm doing now, even though it may not be glamorous, it may not be fun, it may not be something that I really want to do in my life right now, but by doing this, I'm going to be able to enjoy this. And that will help give you the focus and the joy that you need to get through the things you don't necessarily like to do in order to get what you do like to do. For example, okay? Quick for example. We got to have examples, don't we? I got on the scales yesterday, I think it was. And so far, I have lost 15 pounds this year, since January. It's unbelievable to me. I did not expect to lose this much weight in such a short time. And it won't happen to everyone, so don't call me for my miracle weight loss program, because for me, the 90% of the thing that I'm doing is number one, I'm eating less, and number two, and more importantly, I'm eating less sugar. My goal is to cut about 80% of the sugar out of my diet this year, and I'm probably in the range of 40 to 50%. I don't put sugar in my oatmeal, I put honey in my oatmeal. I'm switching the type of sugar that I'm eating to something that is more healthy. So, I like desserts, okay? You got to understand this. I enjoy eating something that is good and homemade and sweet. I enjoy it. It is one of the simple pleasures in life, isn't it? I mean, what is better than an apple pie, nice and warm, with a nice scoop of ice cream on it? Well, okay, maybe a nice piece of cherry pie with ice cream on it. Or a big piece of my wife's cinnamon roll cake. I mean, we can go on and on. But instead of having lots of those things, I'm either not having them or I'm having little tiny pieces just to satiate that desire for the sugar. So, what am I finding joy in? I'm finding joy in the results. The desire is I want to get down to around 200 pounds. I want to lose about 40 pounds. And within 2 months, I've lost 15 of those 40 pounds. I'm sure shortly that it's going to level off and it's going to take a little more time. But that's what I'm talking about, folks. Finding the joy, finding the result that you want, finding the desire you want will help you get through what you don't want. I don't want to cut out my desserts. Are you kidding me? But I am. And the result, to me, is absolutely amazing. So I'm keeping on doing it. Of course I am. I'm seeing results. I'm seeing what I'm doing is working. So I'm continuing it. Now, I'm already just about out of time. We still got 2 points. Well, we can probably do these quickly. Number 3, joy is an emotion evoked by a source or a cause of delight. So, even though there are many things in our lives we don't like to do, you need to find something to do either every day, every couple of days, or at least once a week that really gives you something to delight about, to have joy about, that brings you happiness. It will help level off your week so that you know, hey, in a couple of days, I'm going for a snowmobile ride. In a couple of days, I'm going to be deep into a great book. Whatever brings you joy. I'm just giving you some examples. Okay? We need to stop this idea that, oh, it's the weekend, I'm going out and getting hammered. That's not going to get you joy. That's covering up your pain. I don't want to cover up your pain. I want you to expose your pain and find something to have joy about. Okay? You can't fix the pain unless you expose it. And finally, joy is an emotion evoked by a state of happiness. In other words, let me put it to you, this is the way I look at it, okay? Could be wrong about what Merriam-Webster said, but for me, this is what I'm talking about. To be in an environment that promotes happiness. Okay, so you need to find a place in your day, in your week, an environment, an ecosystem, if you will, where you can feel happy, where you can feel joy, where you can feel something other than the stress of life. Whether it's going on a date with your woman, or whether it's hanging out with your kids, whether it's going for that snowmobile ride, whatever it is, that environment that brings you happiness, you need to put yourself in it on a regular basis. Because if you don't get in that position, if you don't put yourself in that position, eventually you will get depressed. You will lose track of your goals. You will lose your way. So I'm trying to help you today. Get in those environments. Find those things. Get those desires. Realize what I'm doing right now is going to benefit me later on. Okay? Thank you for watching today's episode of The More Factor. Get your joy, folks. Live your joy. It's very important. I will see you tomorrow morning for our Crazy Freedom Friday. Let's change the world one person at a time. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Have an awesome day today.